Welcome back to Pepper the Pastor. This is Faith Family Church's opportunity to ask our dear pastor tough questions. I'm Patrick Lavore, here again with my friend, Pastor Wes Feltner.
Good to see you.
We have a question this time that got emailed in, Pastor. This comes from, it's kind of an Old Testament, New Testament question. So the question basically, or the email basically asked, we see the Ten Commandments in the Old Testament. But of those 10 commandments, one of which, I believe it's number 4, talks about keeping the Sabbath day holy.
Right.
We don't seem to do that in the New Testament. We don't seem to have that commandment, so to speak. Can you speak to the importance, or maybe lack thereof, of following that keeping the Sabbath day holy?
Absolutely. And I appreciated the question that the individual emailed in. And it does get to the heart, which is difficult at times, of trying to understand how does the Old Testament relate to the New? How does the New Testament relate to the Old? And how are we to kind of understand these things? Specifically as it relates to the Sabbath. So, for instance, when we think about the Old Testament covenant, we know that we as believers are not under that covenant. Of that, we are clear. The law, the covenant was given specifically to the Jewish nation, to Israel, and Jesus is the fulfillment of that. He even says in the Sermon on the Mount that he came to fulfill the law. But of course, he's still calling us to holiness. So when you look at a lot of what's in the Ten Commandments, you're still going to follow those same kinds of things because those are holy things. Those are things that would be a part of the fruit in abiding in the vine, right? Specifically as it relates to the Sabbath, the question becomes, after Jesus comes and fulfills the law, is the Sabbath specifically a day, or is it something else? And the passage that really gives us the clearest insight on that is in Mark chapter 2, right after Jesus heals someone on, you'll never guess, the Sabbath. And of course, the Pharisees are absolutely beside themselves that he's not following the Sabbath. He's not, of course, it wasn't a Sabbath issue, it was their own rules, but that's a whole other thing. And here's what Jesus says. This is at the end of Mark chapter 2 about this. He said to them, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath." In short, and there's a lot more, I've done sermons on this topic, so there's a lot more that could be said. In short, the Sabbath was given as a gift of God's grace to us as human beings, that we would work and image God as God worked, and we would rest and image God as God rested. It was a gift of God of grace that we would rest and enjoy the work of our hands, stop and worship and adore God. The question is there a better way to do that now? Is there a better place of rest than a day? And the answer is yes. His name is Jesus. Jesus is saying true rest is here. Look at this person who's been healed. Look at this person who was broken and now been restored. If you want to find rest, it's not about observing a specific day. It's about being in Christ. It's about being in union with Him. He's the one that ultimately offers the rest of God. Final thing I'll say is that does not mean that it's not okay to still practice a weekly time of rest. I know people that they may take 2 or 3 days in a month. They might take a week after a period of time. I do think the principle of establishing patterns and rhythms of work, rest is still something we should do, but not in I got to follow a command kind of way, but that this is how God has created things to be, and ultimately the rest of God is found in the Son of God.
That's a great answer. Thank you for that. I love what you read there where Jesus says, "I am the Lord of the Sabbath."
That's right.
Again, this whole idea of He's the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy.
And if you get caught up in the rule, you're more like the Pharisees in that passage. You're not allowed to do this on that day. And so let's not be so much concerned about the rule of what day it is and more concerned about the relationship with Christ Himself.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pat.
Once again, peppering the pastor, and he brings the salt. Love it. Hey, if you like this, please like this channel. Please subscribe. We would appreciate that. Also, visit faithfamilymn.org. That's the website for Faith Family Church. We meet, by the way, Saturday nights at 4:30 in Burnsville and 10 o'clock on Sundays in Rosemount. Thank you.